Jesse was on the fast track as a high fashion model in New York until one night when a violent crime sent his life off the rails.
I moved from Ohio to New York City when I was 21 years old. My dreams were doing high fashion fitness modeling. Growing up on a farm, I wanted to do something big, do something extraordinary. I was doing ads for really big brands about a month after I signed with an agency. Your physique is your paycheck. I kept my body in top shape, very, very shredded. I felt on top of the world at that time. 6 months after I arrived in New York, there was a few of us that was gonna go out and have a couple drinks. I probably had 2 or 3 drinks at the bar. At 200 pounds, I wouldn't have been drunk, I wouldn't have been really buzzed, just sort of relaxed. Right after I left the bar, I went to Penn Station. As soon as I arrived, I started losing motor skills. I couldn't see right. It was hard for me to talk. And so I walked down and tried to read the monitor, and it was all blurry, and I couldn't understand what track I was on, so I grabbed the one that I thought was the right one and bolted down the escalator, and there was a train sitting there, but it was on lockdown. I started to black out and I started to panic, and so I tried to lean up against the door, and it was just like the lights went out. The next thing I remember is waking up on top of the train car. I felt like I just came off anesthesia. My first instinct was to get off of the train. So I grabbed a hold of a rod that was like the size of my pinky that was sitting next to me to stabilize myself, and immediately it engulfed me in flames. Electrocuted 13,000 volts. 13,800 volts is about the same amount of electricity that goes through your power lines running outside of your house. As I was being electrocuted, I had a vision. I could see what is like a bright white light like the sun, the most peaceful, like beautiful feeling I've ever felt. And it woke back up and I was back on fire on top of the train. 958 degrees is the actual temperature that went into my bone marrow. In between like gasps with breath, pulled myself off of the wire and fell 8 feet on the concrete, still on fire. I had a nylon backpack that actually started to melt all down my chest. There was a guy that had a fire extinguisher that actually put the backpack in the fire out. I didn't even realize how bad it was actually burned. It was like a walking zombie, skin falling off, and people just started screaming. I looked down at my right hand when I was crawling up on the concrete, and it was black, it was charred, it was fried. The last thing I remember hearing is 60% of his body's burnt and a slight chance of survival, and it was like lights out. I woke up and took my head up, and I could see that my hand was gone, 3 inches below the elbow. My heart just stopped. I started crying. I didn't want to live. I didn't want to live anymore. I prayed every night. I was like, I hope I don't wake up.